Spinning reels work great with 4 to 12 pound mono or fluorocarbon. You can go higher with braid. You could go 20-pound braid, 15-pound braid, probably even 30-pound braid, and it will still perform well on a reel. If you're going to use 12-pound and above mono or fluoro, then I would suggest you use a bait caster reel. It's just simply going to handle it better. Now, with the spinning reels, the question is bigger better? Or is a smaller, lighter reel better? So that's the question that's going to be addressed in this video. And hopefully I am going to be able to suggest to you that bigger is actually better when it comes to spinning reel size. And there are many reasons for that, as you will see in the video. So watch along, and as always, if you find the video enjoyable or helpful, a like, share, subscribe is always very much appreciated. I have worked a lot of in-store promotions and trade shows over the years, and when I have consumers come into the booth or into the store and they are looking for a rod and reel to purchase, then I try and share that wisdom that I picked up over the years. So this, for example, is a Pflueger Supreme. It's a size 25 reel, and it has its definite time and place. There's great value to it. There's no question about it. This is a Pflueger, and it is a Supreme reel, and it is a size 40 reel. And there are definitely times when bigger is better. And if I have a choice between two reels and I can go with the bigger reel, I'm always going to go with the bigger reel. And hopefully, as you watch this video, I am going to be able to not only suggest, but convince you that this is the way to go, and you will be happier in the long run with a reel that is bigger, because it's going to give you, in my experience, at least 6 reasons why bigger is better for a spinning reel. Let's analyze why a bigger spinning reel is better. Well, I can think of 5 reasons, and those 5 reasons will hopefully help convince you to at least test out the possibility of a bigger reel. The price difference is often minimal, if anything, so you want to look at the reasons. So can you think of the 5? I'll just give you a few seconds to think about that. Well, one of the most overlooked reasons that bigger is better is that we have gone to a lot of longer rods today. So this, for example, is a 7/6 Fenwick HMG, and it's much longer, and the extra weight of the size 40 reels is going to help balance that out. And you can see that that's a very nice balance point right there. And so that's the first reason that it's going to balance better. And because the size of the spool is bigger, you're going to get less tangles. And because the line is not as tightly wound onto this spinning reel. So if there is going to be any memory, it's going to be less because it's not as tight. You're also, for that same reason, you're going to get further casts because it's just going to loop off the spinning reel. And one of the things I like about this Revo is that it's got a beveled edge, which is going to also help it cast a little bit further. And the Abu Garcia Revo is a great series of spinning reels. It's certainly, right up there with the Pfluegers in my opinion. And the next thing, so let's just do a quick review. We got balance is better, less tangles, you're going to get farther casts, and with this larger spool size, you're going to get a quicker retrieve ratio. So for each time I turn the handle 1 complete revolution, I am going to pick up more line, and that is going to give me a as I say, a better retrieve ratio, which is going to let me get the fish out of the cover a little bit quicker. If I'm working a faster moving lure, it just gives me that higher retrieve ratio. I can always slow it down, but I can't necessarily speed it up without going crazy, you know, with cranking. So it's definitely nice to have the higher retrieve ratio with it as well. The other last thing that you want to look at then is the simple size of the spool. What that's going to do is it's going to handle heavier pound tests. So if you are going to use 10 or 12 pound test monofilament or fluorocarbon on a spinning reel, it is going to definitely handle better on the bigger reel. Sometimes when you start to do videos like this, you sometimes think of things as they're happening. And, you know, I looked at the 5 reasons and I just make sure that I've summarized them for you. Balance is better, less tangles, farther casts, faster retrieve ratio, handles heavier line better. But the obvious one that I missed is, well, it's bigger. It can handle more line capacity. And if you are fishing for bigger species of fish that will do a lot of running, you're going to be able to fight that fish and not worry about it ever spooling you. So, like I say, that's reason number 6. Smaller reels certainly have their time and place, and they will, you know, always be a part of the game. And for example, my favorite walleye rod is this 5-foot 9-inch medium extra fast Fenwick Elite Tech walleye, and I use it for jigging the Detroit River. I use it for casting light jigs. It's just a rod that I love, and it just flat out works. Anyways, with the smaller reel, it balances very nicely with this 5-foot 9-inch rod, but the general tendency today is towards longer rods. So if I'm using, you know, a 6'8", a 7-foot, a 7'2", a 7'6" spinning rod, that larger size reel is going to be much better. So I strongly encourage you to take that reel. When you buy it, put it on the rod and balance it out and see how it feels in your hand. I always use the analogy that it's like trying on a pair of shoes. If those shoes don't fit well in the store and they hurt your feet, they're not going to get more comfortable out on the, you know, pavement or hiking or whatever you do. And it's the same with the rod. If you don't put the reel on the rod and match them out together and put it in your hand and see how it feels and see if it balances out, then you're probably missing out on having the most comfortable, balanced outfit in your hand. So, as I say, use that analogy. You'd never go and just buy a pair of shoes without trying them on. So, don't do it with your spinning reels. Try them on the rod. You won't be disappointed that you did. Here's another example of a Pflueger Supreme XT. And this size 40 reel, you can see it's already got a bit of a downward tilt to it. So it's slightly out of balance, but I couldn't imagine going to a lighter reel, because if I went to a lighter reel, say size 30 or 35, then it's going to tilt downwards like this, and it's going to be less comfortable after a long, hard day of fishing. So once again, if you're going with the longer rods, I strongly encourage you to try that size 40 reel. And I think you will be pleasantly surprised at just how well it balances out, and then you gain all the advantages of those 6 items that we discussed earlier. Near the end of the video, I'm going to take a look at what has been, over recent years, the #1 selling spinning reel at Bass Pro Shops and sale here in Ontario. And the answer may surprise you, but bang for your buck, it's an amazing reel at an amazing price. So stay tuned for that a little bit later in the video. Every spinning reel I have shown you in this video uses a combination of a braid. I use Stealth braid. It's just been around forever and it works very well for me. I've been happy with it. And that's spider wire Stealth. And I also use some Nanofill. And this super line that has no stretch is going to give you great sensitivity, great feel, and it's going to give you an excellent hook set. But I strongly encourage you to learn a good knot and tie on that knot to a fluorocarbon leader, and you are going to get the maximum performance out of your spinning reel, because the fluorocarbon is hard to see, it's got good abrasion resistance, it's got less stretch than mono. So there's a lot of pluses to it. And when you take the Superline braid and add the fluorocarbon leader, you get the best of both worlds and you will maximize the effectiveness of your spinning reel. Not to mention that the braid on the line is going to last much longer. You won't have to change it as often and it is going to cast great. So if you are new to spinning reels or you're not taking advantage of that braid fluoro combination, then you definitely want to check it out. And I have another video on my channel on knot tying, and you can check that out if you would like. And I've got an easy knot there to learn to tie that's very strong. And I hope you find that video helpful as well. Berkeley Fireline Crystal is also another excellent Superline choice. The #1 selling spinning reel at Bass Pro Shops and Sail Outdoors here in Ontario for many years has been the Pflueger President. It is a 10 ball bearing reel and it is the best bang for your buck out there. I have talked with several customers during in-store promotions, and the Pflueger President spinning reel certainly has a very loyal following, and there are families that each member has their own president. And with the price point, you can see why. Once again, just great value for the money. Next time you're in your favorite tackle store, I would encourage you to give the Pflueger President a test drive by putting it in your hands and seeing just how well it feels in your hand. And as always, when you are making a purchase with a reel, I strongly encourage you to put it on the rod that you intend to buy and see how that combination balances out. I highly recommend a Fenwick HMG rod with your President for an affordable combination that will feel great in your hands and perform amazingly well. During COVID times, people have more time to fish. And as more people fish, there's more pressure on the fish. And power fishing is awesome and it's a great way to catch fish, but power fishing doesn't always work. And there's a reason why you see in tournaments, more and more anglers are turning to a spinning rod in their hands. And that spinning rod and reel combination is going to handle the lighter lines better. It's going to allow you to catch more fish and therefore be a more effective angler, whether you're a tournament angler, a fun angler that, you know, gets out on the weekends or whenever you can. The bottom line is we all want to catch fish. So if you want to catch fish and you're fishing pressured bodies of water, then I suggest you try some of the finesse techniques that are out there, and you will be pleasantly surprised at the number of fish that you actually start catching using a spinning reel and that braid and fluoro combination. As always, if you find this video enjoyable or helpful, a like, share, subscribe is always appreciated. Take care, thanks for watching, and I would invite any questions or comments and I will get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. Take care and bye for now.